Big bruh. I'm talking about he had to be about a good 6'3", 380, 350, something like that. Like one of them big neck bruhs, right? And there was this drunk ass dude in front of him. And for whatever reason, liquid courage is what we'll call it. We'll call it liquid courage. The drunk dude is like pointing at like the big dude, right? He's just pointing at this motherfucker, drunk as shit. Big homie look, yeah.
Roll me, Mac.
What does your life look like in a perfect world? Okay, perfect world life. The perfect world to me, I can eat whatever I want without gaining a damn pound. It doesn't affect my arteries for my heart. Stuffed crust is okay. General Tso's chicken or General Toso. Cheeseburger, macaroni. You know what I'm saying? Seafood Alfredo. I can down all that shit without penalty. That's to start off this perfect life. You gotta start off with food, right? That's fuel. You gotta fuel the body. To start it off, I wanted to touch on like the food thing. As far as my life goes, I have a healthy family. Every last member does not take anything personal when we have conversations or disagreements. We're able to listen without dismissing one another speaking, and we don't gossip. We don't tear each other down, and we really just get along, right? And we just make each other laugh, and it's not at the expense of one's downfall, if you will. You know, it's more like we're all in a good space. We're recognizing that we're whole. We're not incomplete and we're not broken. And we all just were able to get together for things outside of funerals. We get together for just because it's Wednesday type thing. And we're able to be there in times of need. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't come with like a caveat. You know, it's literally just an unconditional form of love being shown for being there for somebody. You know what I mean? Definitely perfect world. It would have been dog, house, wife, kids at, let's say about 21. Yeah, about 21 would have started. That way we can kick their asses out right around this time, turning 40, and in that perfect assessment, there's no rank of any sort, and we're just able to be there for one another. And when I don't know how to do something, she doesn't look at me in a way that makes her lose respect for me as a man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you don't know something, like we work together as a team, not so much recognizing that you don't have this skill. So now I have to take the lead. And not only am I taking the lead, I'm not giving it back. Michael Jackson's still alive. Michael Jackson's still alive. I don't know if he's still doing the moonwalk, but he's still alive. Tupac is still here, raising hell in Congress. I truly believe. The music, funk, it would still be prevalent on the radio, just like it was in the 70s. The perfect world. Whenever we have issues with other countries, we don't shoot them to get our way. We either battle them in the Olympics or we battle them in breakdancing. Just like the 80s, like high school in the 80s or whatever it was in the 80s. My crew, your crew, I got issues with you. All right, we're gonna work this shit out. We're gonna compete. And whoever wins the competition, that's what it is. Social media is only used to, I think social media is still left to, like Facebook is left still to college kids only. Yep, college kids only. There's like I said, there's Instagram with boundaries. There's financial literacy taught in school, and you're taught how to make millions. Not just thousands working for a company, but you're taught how to actually make millions. Own land and all of that. But then getting back to social media, comparison, like we don't compare ourselves to each other on social media. You know what I'm saying? Like we're grateful for what we have. Like how life was before the internet, when you just had what you had and you was okay with that. But like, let's say you grow up broke. I'm not gonna say poor, but you grow up broke, and you see people that have things on social media, and you feel some type of way about yourself. But before that, you felt okay because this is all you knew. You were okay with what you had. But once you saw there was other shit out there and you don't have it, now all of a sudden you feel inadequate. You feel like you don't have, you don't have enough. You know what I'm saying? Like you can consistently want more than what you have. But in that perfect world, none of that shit matters. Like we're okay with what we have. We're able to just be interchangeable. You know what I mean? And this is just, like I said, this is perfect world. It's not gonna make sense at all. It's not gonna make fucking sense at all. But you're able to just be in peace with what you do. Like the job you work, regardless of what you do, is enough for you to get by. Not to get by, but to live a comfortable life. You dress as you want to. There's no penalty on style. You just live life. And also, in this perfect world, when you get caught lying on somebody, something happens to you. If you get found out that you lied on somebody on a very serious crime, then whatever time they were supposed to get, that goes to that person. Like when someone attempts to take a life, they never see. Has brought my attention listening to Brilliant Idiots podcast. It's like when a person takes a person's life, their family comes to visit them in the precinct, in the prison, in the jail, but the family that you killed, like the person that you killed, their family no longer gets to see them again. So once you commit that crime, you will never see anybody ever again. That's just I'm not gonna say but I do agree with what Andrew Schultz said about the topic. I'm not able to take credit originally for the idea of it, but I just thought, that actually makes sense to me. But it's just, like I said, it's just peaceful. In the perfect world, none of us compare. We don't compare anything. Just live life with our, just live with our family. And by family, that is, for me, it's like, it's wife, kids, dogs, and a lake. Vacation homes. Yeah, vacation homes in other countries with beaches. Beaches only. There's being able to go on vacation with everyone that you love, and it's all affordable. And we all can shut down like an amusement park one day for somebody's birthday. Similar to how celebrities tend to do so. But like having a huge family and then being able to come together and, like I said, shut down an amusement park. Everybody else still works there as normal, but it's just solely sold out for my family in particular and everybody that's included. Whether that be like, my brother's family, his in-laws, all of that stuff, cousins and their family and all that. And we just vibe, right? Nobody feels down. No one feels like anybody's judging them. It's just life, right? No, we just live. I'll just look at it like that. I don't have to work to get to a comfortable lifestyle, right? Where I don't have to worry about money anymore. Money doesn't matter. Money is taken care of, and working to be concerned about if bills are going to be paid. And we don't care about what we look like. We don't put so much into fashion and what others think. We just live because we know that we got it. There's nothing to be proven, And those things are attainable. And I'm working towards it. Slowly but surely. Working towards a lot of those things. Some of those things is just, that shit ain't gonna happen. But of those things that I've listed, that is what I would see in a perfect world. What are some of your favorite moments going to nightclubs? All right, well, nightclub time. Some moments that I enjoyed in a nightclub. Well, it was one time I went to Seville's. It was like 2005. I was very much a young airman. Was not able to drink like a lot of my brothers were able to do that were older than me, but I wasn't able to drink. And we hung out with like the oldest in our crew at the time. During that time frame was I think that was G. G was about 25, and I think Bird had to be about. If I was 20, that means Bird is like 24. So you got 25, 24, and then the rest of us is like 20 and 21. So we go to Seville's, and we just relaxing. Ain't really much going on, and we're just cooling. So we just at Seville's. We're at Seville's, and we're lounging. And then I go upstairs. Like there's an upstairs area, and music's playing. It's not really the music I care for and whatnot. It's just like that. It was pop and house, whatever was going on at the time, right? But I happened to see this big bruh. I'm talking about, he had to be about a good 6'3", 380, 350. Something like that, like one of the big neck bruhs, right? And there is this drunk ass dude in front of him. And for whatever reason, liquid courage is what we'll call it. We'll call it liquid courage. The drunk dude is like pointing at like the big dude, right? He's just pointing at this motherfucker, drunk as shit. Big homie look, yeah, and like, oh my God, he really did. He Mike Tyson punched out his ass. Like he put his ass to the pavement. One hitter quitter. Like he really did put him down with a one hitter quitter. And I was like, I don't believe that this shit is going on in front of me, you know? On other club moments, I think of like Nighttown, right? Nighttown was the local club for us when we were there from, let's call it from 04 to, from about 08, yeah. I mean, it was there when I came back later on, but like from those times that I was there in the Air Force, you know, at Fort Walton Beach, we used to go to Nighttown, was in Destin, and we used to go to Nighttown. And many, many nights things have happened, fights and stuff. But in this particular night, this is the first time I'm seeing grown men battle each other like you got served. It's so weird. It was weird at first, you know, being judgmental and, you know what I'm saying, not having the courage to do what they're doing. So I'm placing my own insecurities onto them, judging them for doing what they're doing. But they were literally battling each other, like, and you got served. The song comes on, it's like all of that shit. Grown ass men, you know, got ladies around. These grown men are dancing with each other. You know what I'm saying? But it was all, like I said, it was all in fun. And it used to be something you would see every time you would come to Nighttown, whether it was on a Friday night or a Saturday night. But they would just be getting it in. And then there is the Panama City spring break of 2006. We're celebrating a buddy's birthday, and one of our friends is beyond lit. He's gone. He is just fucking gone. And like, we are inside the club, and you know, dating back to like the Nighttown days, this very same drunk individual that was drinking heavily would come up to us and be like, yo, this motherfucker pushed me. And you know, back then we like, yo, what's up? What's going on? So we go look and see where this supposed person was that was pushing him. When I tell you that the person was shorter than him and he's like 5'5", it was like, we're not doing this shit. We're not doing this, man. Like, you got lollipop guild, both of y'all lollipop guilds, and you think we were supposed to he's just having fun, you know what I'm saying? He's just having fun or whatever. And so bring wanted to give that backstory so that we can get to the Panama City joint, Club La Vila, right? Club La Vila in Panama City Beach, and we're there. Like I said, it's the birthday of one of the homies, and sure enough, man, like we're all spread around. It's like there had to be about a good 6 to 8 of us that was there, kind of doing our thing. You know, I'm trying to talk. You know, me and this other cat's trying to talk to these girls over here. My boy and his wife, they just, you know, taking shots, taking drinks. Another co-worker, she's just there, just lounging, not really doing much of anything. And then comes, you know, the birthday boy. The birthday boy is in there, and he has to look after the same individual that's doing all the drink, because that's just his heart, you know what I'm saying? It's just his personality to make sure everybody good. But we go outside, and him and our coworker get into it, because I think he says some slick shit. You know how drunk motherfuckers be, and thinking they can say certain shit to to women, and thinking that they're not gonna say nothing. But she was not having it that day. And then I think it was like as a group setting, it was like, dog, you acting like an ass right now. And then he's like, nah, you know, he turned into like just kind of, I don't know, he threw a tantrum. I don't know if he was doing it because he was being funny, you know, but for drinking. But he's just sitting there like, he's like, nope, I'm an ass. And he would be, you know, he was, like I said, he would just be gone. Like, we literally have to watch him. I think he got put out of the club that night for, you know, being erratic on the dance floor. So that's how we ended up outside. But it was towards the end of the night, you know what I mean? But but we were all together, and that's like, we can laugh about it now, whenever we do talk about that. And I'm sure whoever watches it that was there that night will definitely know what the fuck we're talking about. But it was good times, man. It was good times. We were, all in all, we were a family. We were a work family, military family, and we're still brothers and I would say sisters in this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up together. And then there is the night in it was Fort Walton. I want to say it was Cash's. I believe it was Cash's. That might be the name of the club, but it's right there by the Gulfarium. And whatever that club is, when you turn right, coming down the bridge to get to Okaloosa Island, you turn right, and it was a spot over there. So this one, we are deep in this night. It is literally like a solid 14 to 16. We got the young airmen that just got to the base. We got those of us who are getting out, and yeah, it was really deep that night. So, it's like, it's a little hip hop spot. We just lounging and whatnot. We upstairs and drinking, talking. I think we was talking music. Me and my boy Ham. And if you're watching this, what up? If you ever see this, what up, Jacoby? What up, bro? We were literally just lounging, and it's like girls upstairs like dancing and whatnot, like on the poles, not stripping, but just part of the atmosphere for it. And I shit you not, I'm talking to Ham. I'm looking, he's to the right of me. I'm looking to him over here. All of a sudden, I see glass flying across my peripheral, right? And I look to the left, and I literally see one of the girls that came with us scrapping with one of the guys. He kind of looked like Fabo from D4L. That's what was going. Like I said, to date ourselves with what was going on. This is like 2007. But sure enough, I don't know if he tried to touch her ass or if he called her a bitch or whatever, but Dee took that damn bottle and smashed that shit across this motherfucker's head. And like I said, we was deep. We was deep that night. And it was like a small scuffle, but obviously they broke that up. We weren't having a girl and a guy fight in a club. But we had it was like I said, it was a lot of us there. And then we went down, we had to get downstairs. Now it's time to leave because the homie's talking about going to the trunk and, Kevin Hart situation. I'm gonna pop the trunk on your bitch ass type thing. So he wanted to, he was about to go in anger and, pride hurt. He's about to go to the car and get his gun. That's what we can assume that he was going to do. He was going to get his gun and play and leave us all sprayed out. Well, whoever was there, sprayed out in the situation. We all, they had security guards blocking everything off, and then we were able to dip out and, we took off. And we all split up too. Like we came there all together, but we all split up in our different areas. And it's like me and my boys, we went back to their apartment, and really all we did was just listen to music and play. I think probably Live 2006 or Live 2007, whichever it was at the time that was popular. And just talked about the situation. Like, I don't know what the fuck that was. And again, that's it. Like the Air Force times. I'll leave with one nightclub time in Miami where I got to see. A friend of mine. We all, we grew up together. She was cheering for the Dolphins at the time, so was able to go to the club where she invited me to go to the club with her. And we went to Club Play before it got torn down. Shout out to everybody that went to Club Play. So it was a Friday night. And I didn't normally, again, it was just one of those things, wasn't doing nothing. She was like, yo, you want to go to Club Play? Sure. Okay, cool. So we go to Club Play. It's not my scene. And I just feel like I don't belong, because it's this celebrity VIP type shit. And I don't know these people. And you don't want to be that individual that acts like this is their scene and you get tossed the fuck out. So I'm like, just sitting there. And we're having, one of the guys from the promo, like the promoters came up to me. He was young, young guy. He wasn't too much older than me at the time. And I probably was like maybe 26, 25, something like that. But he had to be like maybe 27, 28. And he comes up and he's like, yo, what we do is we take like 20 from everybody, and then we pretty much drink the rest of the night. Now that particular night, I'm sitting there, I paid the money, I'm still not touching shit. I'm just, because like I said, I don't believe, I don't feel in my spirit that I belong here. So I'm sitting there, and then the guy comes up like, yo, you paid, you know what I'm saying? So, get your, drink or whatever. Say less. So by the end of the night, I probably downed an entire bottle of, or at least most of a bottle of Ciroc. I think that was right when Ciroc had just came out. And the pineapple juice, the orange juice, the cranberry, all of it. Now, interesting enough, way on the other side is the Heat, the Miami Heat. So this is LeBron James. This is Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade. And not like I got to meet them or anything. They just so happened to be there. And it was a fashion show going on. And I seen a girl, she had on like this fur coat with no bra, titties poking, perky too, like straight up model body. I remember that. So it's come time for us to leave. And we're walking downstairs. Christina was with her crew, with the girls and whatnot. And then I was just over there with the fellas, really by myself. And then whenever, Wale's and Waka Flocka song come on, girl, the way you move it. And like, we're walking down, and I notice I could throw up at any second. I could just feel it. I really could feel that I'm really about to throw up in this motherfucking club. So we get back to the parking garage. I said, Christina, I normally don't let people drive my car. And anyone that knows me, don't nobody drive Frankie, don't nobody drive Cindy Lou Who, whoever, whatever name it is. It don't happen. But I was like, if I do, we're not gonna make it home. So I was like, yeah, I let her drive. I shit you not. 5 to 10 seconds in, all of that cranberry and whatever I had to eat was on the side of my car, maybe like a little bit on the inside. And I threw up twice. I blinked and we were at my apartment. And I didn't look at the car, but I thanked Christina for getting us there safely. And like I said, I normally don't let anybody drive my car, but we were able to get back to the apartment. She left, and really that was it. Like it was, there was never anything like between us. Like for the girls that grew up in church with me, I just look at them and like I said, that's family. It was so weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was involved with some of them, obviously one of them being a mother, the mother of my child, God rest her soul. But when we became adults, it was like, oh, that's your people. That's what's the name of them daughter. What's the name of them son. So like when they're in town, looking after them and, and just family, it's just family oriented. That was the mindset. And yeah, so that was a few nights that I spent in the, nightclubs. Obviously that could be another episode to talk about more of them. It very well may be. Lots of stories that went down between 2004 and I'd say I probably stopped going heavily to the club from 2004 through 2015, maybe. That was I would say my club days. Everything else was like relationships and working on businesses and not really being in the club. But from 2004 to 2015, plenty of nights to talk about the club. Those were just a few of them. Stay tuned for more. What's the scariest roller coaster you've ever ridden on? Mako, SeaWorld. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, when we went there as a family, my best friend and his family. But I had to show SeaWorld some spec, as Birdman would say, put some spec on my name, because I did not know it was about to go down the way that it went down. There was, you got that long ass, it's a ways up. You're going it's a ways up. The way down, I'm okay with roller coasters. We can go as high as we want to. What I'm not okay with is me coming out of, my ass raising up out of a seat on a roller coaster, especially when it's not like a pull down, it's a lap. Because what happens when I get past the bar, but it was fun though. It was fun. I was laughing hysterically because I very well thought I was going to come out that chair and I'm going to die like the Joker on a roller coaster. I'm going to die laughing and just hysterically laughing. And that's what I was attempting to do. But when we stopped, I was like, ooh, I'm glad we're back. Because damn. But it was definitely a moment. It was definitely a moment. I had to, because I'm a big fan of like the Hulk, Univert at Islands of Adventure. And to me, that was the best roller coaster I've ever been on. And then I thought after I rode the Mako, I was gonna be like, okay, now I wanna ride the Hulk again. So then I rode, I think I rode the Hulk not too long after that. And then I had to concede that Mako, to me, the best roller coaster that I've been on so far, and also the damn scariest, because I damn sure thought I was about to lose my life on that roller coaster. But SeaWorld pulled a fast one. Did not see that coming. The Mako. Yeah. What's something you find interesting about love? What I find to be very interesting about love is that you never know where it's coming from. Like it tends to, like, the love that the love that you feel you deserve, it doesn't come from the individuals. It tends to not come from the individuals that you target in your mind, like to live up to your expectations. But God in the universe is funny, man. He's got it under control. Him or her, whichever it is. The universe certainly knows how to make sure you have enough to get to that next checkpoint. And throughout my life, man, I really can say that wherever I was, and a lot of people are not still in this life, but they served their purpose in getting to the next checkpoint. And understanding that nothing's permanent. And just being grateful for that present moment. But when you just sit there and you wait for this particular style of love from your family, friends you might have known for a long time, meanwhile you have people that you just met, people you don't even know, that just show like they truly will show like unconditional love. Initially we'll call it that. Maybe no. Who could be conditional with like a motive in mind. But for the most part, it's just like, oh, okay, there you go. Stuff like that, and after a while, it becomes like an expectation. And I believe that's where things get interesting. At first, you're just doing things for the sheer sake of just being you. I believe we're all just being ourselves. For the most part, most of us are just like loving in a very carefree form. And then after a while, when you believe that you've done more, ego slowly coming in, you feel like you've done more than what that individual has shown or done for you to your understanding of it. And then the ego comes in, it's like, oh, okay, now it switches to a conditional love. Well, I'm only going to do it if they do this, and who spends the most time with us, right? Our family. you know, we've lived with them for so long, and then like, if you've had to be the strong, like a very strong individual in your family, right? And you've had to take care of a lot of people. And I've seen this for multiple people within my family, like them being the strong one and having to look after all of this, you know what I'm saying? Having to look after that. And you just feel like it's not appreciated. It's being taken for granted. And then you become resentful. I truly believe that's where conditional love comes in, you know? Like when you're doing something in hopes of getting something in return. That is the true essence of conditional love. And being able to do the things that you want to do when you want to do it, as far as favors or stuff like that. Like what I like to say, what I had to learn to say, somebody be like, I need you to do me a favor. Can you do me a favor? I say immediately, depends on what that is. Honestly, it's a boundary for me, because now whatever this favor is, I'm making your problems my problems, and I got my own share of problems. So it just depends on what it is that you're going to tell me or going to ask me will determine whether or not I will do it. You know what I mean? But what I find very interesting about love, again, is like, you don't know when it's going to, you don't know when it's going to hit you. Feels, if you will. And when it does, man, like it creeps up on you. That shit creeps up. It really does creep up on you. Before you know it, that girl that seemed to be like annoying as shit to you with her greetings or text messages or whatever, just that happy shit. And then it's something you grow accustomed to and you start looking forward to it, and you realize, oh shit, this is a form of love. You know, or like that, again, that guy that makes sure that you're straight when y'all around one another. You know what I'm saying? You out in the city and switches you from street side to the sidewalk. For those who understand chivalry and leading will know what the fuck that means. But like, that is a form, protection is a form of love that is one of the strongest, I believe it's one of the strongest forms of love a man can ever show those that he values, is that level of protection, right? But when you no longer have it, when you no longer have the person that's living there with you, whether it's a breakup, whether they moved or they're not here on earth anymore, you just, it almost like a part of you gets attached, which is, again, root of suffering is attachment. But to be able to turn that attachment into gratitude, right? Being grateful for being able to have those moments with them, regardless if they're here anymore. But the feeling, like the most random form of love that comes from an individual. When you see a person, when you stop thinking that this person's trying to take advantage of you, and you look at them as if they're just trying to show love to you, it changes things. And you can look at things as if people are trying to hurt you, or you can look at things from a lens of they're showing love, or they're either showing love or they're asking for it. One of the two. And it changes things. It really does change how you look at shit. Because a lot of people ask for love in the most unloving ways. And I've said that many times before. It's something I heard J.E.T.Sense say a couple years back, and it just always stuck with me in the back of my mind. But the interesting part about it is that some of us have this idea of what love looks like instead of learning how to love someone. Myself, like I said, very guilty of it, myself included, just having this idea of what love looks like. The idea of, and that's coming from even from a family standpoint. You know what I mean? When most people are doing the best they can with what they have, what can you do about that? You know what I mean? It's literally, they can only love you with what they have. They're not able to love you with what you think they have or what they could have. They only love you with what the fuck they have. And depending on your perspective, some might have a lot and some might not have much. But it's what they have, you know. It's just learn, look at it about love. But that's the whole thing. It's perspective based. But I will say about love, for me, what I find very interesting is just how most men see it, and that is seeing love as respect. You know, like for a woman to really just who values a man, and it's not to say that she doesn't get into debates with them. You know what I'm saying? It challenges them, and you know, from an intellectual standpoint. But she doesn't try to diminish him as a man, like try to tear him down as a leader. You know what I mean? Like one of those like those times where you're trying to make him feel small so that you can feel big type thing. Like for a woman that is okay with her, like she's very secure within her position and what it means in leading and choosing someone that knows how to lead. It's very sexy. Very, very, very sexy for a woman. And the latter, you get what you get, you know, as far as believing that every man is out to hurt you. Granted, it's trauma, but don't make your problems his problems or her problems. If you're in a lesbian relationship, but don't make your problems their problems. Better learn how to deal with that shit. Stop projecting. You feel me? But that's what we're human though. But as a human, you also got to have your own healthy boundaries. So it's being able to set those up when dealing with said issues like such. I mean, that's a few things that I find to be interesting about love. I guess like another topic that can be talked about forever in many ways, and more than likely probably will. So stay tuned for that one as well. But that's it for this episode. I'm out. Good night, kids. What's an instant reminder to have gratitude for life to you? That it can be, that everything is temporary and it can all be gone tonight. Like, this is it. We really can be gone. Like, tomorrow is definitely not promised. The only thing we have is the present moment. And it's like learning to let go. Really just learning to let go. Whatever you believe is important to you to stress over, you could be gone tonight. Or you could live forever. One of the two. If you could live forever, would you care? If you were going to go tonight, would it matter? But just being able to be in the present moment with people. And then when you have nothing but pictures to remember them. Pictures, videos, voice messages. Things change. Things change, and it definitely makes you very grateful for the time spent. And time flies. Time flies when you're definitely working on yourself and working on like businesses and things. And, before you know it, years go by. You look and you see, 1 minute your daughter's 15, the next she's 21, and 1 minute your parents are 45 and now they're 64. And your little brother's not so little no more. He's a grown man with a life and a job. And you know what I'm saying? And so you just look at things and they just go by like such. And it just makes you very grateful for the time spent. Those moments don't last forever. The moments of being in high school with your friends, the moments of being in the military with your comrades, your military brothers and sisters, being at a certain job during a certain time frame when you used to have to complain about certain shit that was going on based on a particular boss, and then being able to laugh at it now. It's just having to be in that present moment and embracing it and knowing that we're all suffering, at the same time. And it's not really suffering, it's just we're not all looking at it from the same perspective as the one who dealt it out. And which makes us frustrated because we don't understand. When we're angry, it's because we don't have enough information, I believe. But anyway, yeah. Knowing that it all can be gone is instant gratitude for me. Be remembering that Like those times when your car is broke down and you don't have a car, you're just like, man, I'm gonna be so grateful once I get my car back. Or when you're without a home and you're like, or you go on vacation and you're living on somebody's couch for a little bit, staying in there or sleeping on a blow up mattress, and then you're like, man, I can't wait to get back to my bed. Those things, like being grateful for the present moment, not being possessive of them, but just being grateful to have them. They definitely make things worthwhile. They definitely make you feel grateful to have life, the things that we have. Sometimes we can very much be forgetful of that too, but nothing more grateful than the present moment. Hands down, the present moment is definitely something to be grateful for, because it could all be gone. It can all be gone. Kids grow up, we grow up, our parents get older, parents move on, ascend. Family members ascend, and you lose jobs, you get other jobs, you graduate, you leave teachers, whatever it is, it's like being able to appreciate that present moment with those people that you value for as long as it does, because nothing's permanent. Nothing is permanent. But that's what I find instant gratitude when I think about life.